Coming up tonight on KSL Outdoors. There we go.
Yeah.
We're back on the boulders, but this time we're chasing the beautiful Arctic grayling.
That's the nicest grayling I've ever caught.
And some big monster brook trout. I'm Adam Eakle, and KSL Outdoors starts right now.
KSL Outdoors with Adam Eakle is brought to you by your local Ford stores.
Welcome to KSL Outdoors. I'm Adam Eakle, and welcome back to the boulders. You know, last week we showed you the work that the DWR and Trout Unlimited is doing to help make sure that we have great populations of Colorado River cutthroat trout. And we finished off the second part of our slam. Today, we're just back on the boulders trying to catch some fish. It's a unique place, lots of different species, and hoping to catch some grayling. I think the guys are ready. We better go.
We're going to take the wheelers, make it a little bit quicker trip on a rougher road. So we're going to start out, see if we can catch some grayling and maybe some brook trout as well. Nice. A couple of different lakes. So.
Something different than yesterday.
Yeah, there's so much variety on Boulder Mountain. You can do something different every afternoon, every morning if you want.
Last week,
you can see this male has a really bright red belly, almost solid red.
we introduced you to the Colorado River cutthroat trout found on the boulders, as well as
There we go, got it. Tiger.
some tiger trout.
Tigers are a lot of fun. You know, the growth rate is a great part about them. They can get really nice size.
Today, we're after the legendary brook trout of the boulders and the beautiful Arctic grayling.
Grayling are a lot of fun. They're a fish that does a little bit better in lakes that get low oxygen during the winter time, and so they're a great management tool that way. Some lakes where maybe we haven't been able to produce much for fish, you know, when we're stocking trout, the grayling will do a little better.
Okay.
And they're just really beautiful, fun fish to catch. They're getting a lot more popular. People are figuring out how to catch them, and we produce some really fat ones out here on the boulder.
I think we've actually found out where they're at. They're just cruising out in a flat in the shallows, and we're just fishing chronomids and some scuds, and they're taking them.
Took a little black ant pattern, and that's big for a grayling. And what I love about grayling is this fin. Like, look how beautiful those colors are. Let's give them a breath. There he goes.
There we go! Finally! Took a pheasant tail. Oh, that's a good grayling. That is a pretty fish. Oh, that thing is gorgeous. Oh, it's so fat. That's a good one. This is an Arctic grayling. This is a really nice sized one. This is pretty big. It looks like got a really fat gut, so it's either eating well or it's a female full of eggs ready to spawn. See that dorsal fin is just so pretty. Blue dots on it. One thing I love, the pelvic fins on these have some really beautiful coloring, the pink stripes down them.
Yeah.
That is a really nice looking grayling. It's probably over a pound, I'm guessing. That was one of the bigger ones. This lake, we're actually managing it for trophy Arctic grayling. See if we can get some up in that 17, 18-inch range, over 2 pounds. If we can get one that weighs 2 pounds, that'll be a state record. So that's the goal. What'd that take?
That took the drive.
Yeah.
Oh, the blue on this fin.
Yeah.
Yeah, come over and look at this.
You might have got a male. It looks a little more colorful than mine was.
Whoa, that's pretty.
Aren't they pretty? That's the most colorful dorsal fin I've ever seen on a grayling. And I've caught these fish in the Uintas, I've caught them in Alaska, I've caught them up in Montana, and that has the most blue of any dorsal fin I've seen. That is just a gorgeous, gorgeous fish. Probably 13 inches, not as fat because it's a male, but really, really, really colorful. There it goes. Got it. Got my good grayling. Yeah. I'm trying for that one for a little while now.
More grayling and
Probably in that 3 range, I would bet.
some big brook trout coming up. But first, let's give you a chance to win a cool prize in tonight's climate quiz question. The Arctic grayling is a Holarctic species, meaning that they are distributed in a circle around the Arctic region of the Northern Hemisphere. They range in northern regions of North America, Asia, and Eastern Europe. Arctic grayling have been introduced into 26 of the lower 48 states. Our climate quiz question tonight is, can you name the only state in the lower 48 that still have a natural, native remnant population of grayling? Now, once you know the answer, log on to our KSL Outdoors Facebook page. Give us the correct answer, and while you're at it, give us a like. We'll then randomly select and announce a winner on our Facebook page the following week. The winner set to walk away with a Climate Static V sleeping pad. Climate, comfortable, rugged, and lightweight. KSL Outdoors will be right back to Boulder Mountain.
KSL Outdoors is also brought to you by Fish Tech Outfitters, Utah State Parks, Burt Brothers, Sportsman's Warehouse, Evanston, Wyoming, Climate, and Camp Chef.
That's a grayling. Oh, don't get in the grass.
Welcome back to KSL Outdoors and the Boulder Mountain.
Oh, that's a pretty one. Oh, cow, this is awesome. Ooh, this is a gorgeous fish. Oh, it's got that huge fin. Holy cow.
When biologists who see literally thousands of fish every year get excited, you know you're witnessing something special.
That is so brightly colored. Wow. That's the nicest grayling I've ever caught. Yeah, he's only 15, but yeah, but he looks longer. What's worked out best the last little bit is we've started going to a double nymph rig. So I've got about 3.5, 4 feet below strike indicator, I've got what I'd probably consider an attractor nymph. This is a beadhead pheasant tail. It's a little bit bigger, you know, about a size 14. And then dropped about 18 inches below that, I've got a zebra midge, a really small fly.
That's another good size one. That one might be my biggest one yet. That is a good one. Supposedly when you cook these guys up, they have the flavor of thyme. In their scientific name, they're called Thymalis arcticus. Supposedly because of that flavor. Beautiful fish. Love it. There it is. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah!
We were having a blast catching 12 to 15 inch grayling and a few brook trout as well.
I've heard there's bigger ones on this mountain.
Oh yeah.
Not a bad fish. He probably goes at 12 inches or so. Those fins are gorgeous, aren't they? I love that white tip on them.
Small brook trout, he's fat, really fat.
But you don't want to manage this reservoir for brook trout.
Yeah, this one we've kind of identified as a lake we'd like to manage for trophy grayling. So these are actually the last brook trout that we're going to be stocking in this lake.
Another brook trout.
We got to find some better brooks for the camera. Yeah, they're too much like the Uintas. It's kind of mediocre, honestly. We don't like mediocre down here.
Yeah! Is it a grayling? It is, and it's a good one. Nice fish. Look at that.
Nice, first grayling ever. I shot a lot of video of grayling, now I got one myself.
Well, there we go. That's what we caught out of Lake Z today. Nice little brookies and some big grayling. You know, and sometimes a lot of people are intimidated coming up to the boulders. They don't know where to go. A good source is obviously your Division of Wildlife Resources, but they've also put out this Fishing Boulder Mountain pamphlet. It's a great information. You can catch these at Fish Tech. It's put out by the Blue Ribbon Fisheries and DWR. It tells you where some trophy waters are here on the mountain, also what species you can find in what lakes. You can find those, like I said, right there at Fish Tech. Speaking of Fish Tech, let's head back to them now for tonight's fishing report.
We're out here on the lake, we're catching fish. Hi, I'm Mickey Anderson from Fish Tech with this week's fishing report. Hey, one of the keys to catching fish out on the lake is getting your fly to the right depth. I just threw that cast, I'm going to start counting down. Today I've been counting to 30 before I start a retrieve. So wait, keep your line tight in case fish grabs it on the way down, but wait. Once I hit 30, then I'm going to start my retrieve. Now I found 30 by trying a bunch of different depths. I counted to 10, stripped it in, then 20 and up to 30. Once I found the depth, now I have to figure out the retrieve. Today the good retrieve was a little quick hand strip like this. That seemed to work better than any other retrieve. Match what you've been doing for success and keep doing it. Another tip is to keep your rod tip under the water. By keeping it under the water, I have a tight line from my fingers all the way to the fly. If you lift it out, you've got some slack line here and a fish might grab it and jump that line out of there and you'll miss the hit. Keep that rod tip under the water. When you strike on a fish, you want to strip strike first. When you feel resistance, then lift the rod into the air. That's going to help you get a lot more fish, because if you miss that fish on a strip strike, he might come right back and hit it a second time. Hopefully one of these tips will help you catch a fish like this. For these tips and a whole lot more, come on down to Fish Tech, we'll help you out. And now for tonight's fishing line.
Welcome back to KSL Outdoors. I'm Adam Eakle. Well, Mike, 2 days. We've had 2 really successful days, but we lack one thing, and we want to get a big, what, brook trout?
Yeah, we need to see some nice brook trout. So
All right.
we're going to go hike into a lake that's really hard to get to, and hopefully we catch some.
You haven't been here in how long?
Oh, it's been a few years,
Okay.
but I got a GPS. I think we'll get there.
All right, let's go hit the trail.
All right.
At one time, Boulder Mountain lakes were managed primarily for brook trout, but biologists have found that some lakes are better suited for trophy hybrids such as splake and tiger trout. So a few years ago, a new plan was hatched for the 80 or so lakes the DWR manages here.
And so we actually got together a committee made up mostly of fishermen and gave them some information they needed, and then they came up with ideas to help us manage every lake on Boulder Mountain. They helped us decide what kind of species were going to be in that lake, and then whether to manage those fish as trophy, quality sized, or just opportunity, lots of fish to catch. And so that plan we're putting into place now, and most of the actions that we use with that plan is actually adjusting stocking rates.
Another action included 2 experimental solar-powered aeration systems on lakes that have low oxygen during the winter. The idea is to get some fish to survive the winter and produce more and bigger fish.
If they worked good, we might start putting them up other places on Boulder Mountain.
Many anglers have voiced their concern that the DWR is not trying to produce giant brook trout as they did decades ago, or that the DWR is trying to rid the boulders of brook trout. Mike says this is unfortunate and untrue. They still have a focus on brook trout and making fishing better on Boulder Mountain.
We still have over 60% of the lakes on this mountain have brook trout in them, and that will continue.
A mile and a half later, Mike has led us to a small, isolated lake, and wouldn't you know it, on his 3rd cast.
Got it! Yes, on that gulp minnow. If I can keep it out of the rocks. Oh, come on! There's a Boulder Mountain brook trout. About 3 pounds probably, just really fat, all the way around, chunky fish, just beautiful fish.
Worth the hike.
Absolutely, that one fish is worth that hike in.
You said anything over 3 pounds. This is 2 pounds, 15 ounces is a trophy. That's a trophy.
Yep, that's what we consider a trophy on Boulder Mountain, is a trout over 3 pounds.
God, look how pretty that is.
Yep.
Fins are just unbelievable.
Yep.
Wow. Cool fish. Let's get him back in the water, huh?
Sounds good.
Hey, and while we do, we're gonna head back and turn it over to Jeremiah at Wild Arrow for tonight's Wild Arrow Hoyt Archery Tech Tip.
Hey guys, Jeremiah from Wild Arrow Archery here. Wanted to bring you another archery tech tip. This week I want to talk to you about using the right stabilizer on your bow. I see a lot of customers come in that use this type of stabilizer, and this is really good for taking out a little bit of noise and vibration, but it's really not going to help you shoot more accurate. So with these newer stabilizers on the market, you can see that they use carbon fiber and they actually have weight out on the end. That's going to help your bow hold and aim better on target. What happens with a lot of these bows, you got your rest, your sight, and your quiver all bolted to one side of the bow, and that really causes the bow to become unbalanced. So as you come to full draw, if you find yourself constantly fighting to keep that level bubble in the middle, which is really important for accuracy, choosing the right stabilizer will help fix that. The other thing that I look for is what I call hold. As you're holding on target, everybody has a little bit of natural float and movement, but choosing the right stabilizer will make that float movement get smaller and tighter, which will significantly improve your groups down range. So what we recommend to do is bring your bow down. We'll let you try every single stabilizer we have here on the wall back in our range until you find the right one that works perfect for your setup. So if you guys need any help or have any questions, please come on down to Wild Arrow. We'd love to get you set up to go bow hunting this fall.
Well, it was a 2-mile hike to get into here. Now we've got a 2-mile hike to get out of here in our waders, as you can see, and it's plenty warm up here on the boulders. Let's check that recreation forecast now by turning it over to Kevin in the weather department. Welcome back to KSL Outdoors, back here on top of the boulders as we take a time lapse as the sun sets on a beautiful day. Hey, don't forget, if you're looking for some ideas to get your family into the outdoors, you can always find some right there on our outdoors calendar page at ksltv.com. Time now to turn it over to Jared Hargrave, our gear guru, as he introduces us to a new sponsor.
Thanks, Adam. We want to welcome a new sponsor to the KSL Outdoors family, Climate. They're a Utah company and they make things like sleeping bags and backpacks, but they're best known for sleeping pads. This is the Static V. It's super lightweight. It packs down really small, like to the size of a soda can, and it has these welded in ridges that they call body mapping technology, and what it does is it keeps your body more elevated off the hard ground. They have different versions of the Static V. There's the insulated Static V Lite, and they also have some that come in King's camo patterns for you hunters out there. And don't forget, you can win a Climate Static V sleeping pad by answering our quiz question on our KSL Outdoors Facebook page. Now let's send it back over to Adam. Smells like he's cooking up something good. You better hurry, because I'm getting tired.
Well, Savannah and the boys are out trying to catch a few more fish, maybe spy a few elk. I'm stuck back here doing dinner, but hey, that's okay, especially when you've got a great view like that. Hey, don't forget, when you're out with your family, your friends this year, take lots of pictures. You might win our weekly prize, the 100th anniversary National Parks set of our Dutch oven and skillet from our friends over at Camp Chef. And the weekly winner will also be entered into our quarterly Ford Facebook contest to win a $800 pellet grill, all from our friends at Camp Chef. Now, time to turn it over to you for the best of the week, our snapshot of the week.
We start off tonight with a nice southern Utah tiger trout for Travis. Travis says he took full advantage of some early spring fishing and caught one of his favorite species, this tiger trout. A beautiful fish we have here in Utah, Travis says, and he released this bad boy for another angler to one day enjoy. Carly and her family took her 4-month-old baby out for the baby's first camping trip to Pine Lake down in southern Utah. The Rugrats sure enjoyed the camping trip. The family fished, hiked in Bryce Canyon, rode four-wheelers, and got to say goodbye to Aunt Kelsey, who was headed out for an LDS mission. Good luck, Noakes. Since she was 12, Emmeline has always wanted to hunt a bear. Now 14, Emmeline drew her tag, and with some great advice from the DWR down in the southeastern region, she was able to bag her first bear on the 3rd night of the hunt, and she shot it with a muzzleloader. Em wanted to thank all the good friends and good people at the DWR that helped her out. After weeks of frustration, Colby finally got a picture of the dusky grouse in all of its beauty earlier this month. Colby says he caught this bird in the middle of a beautiful courting session near Strawberry Reservoir. But our winner tonight loves spending time with his son taking pictures of wildlife. Shay and his son Talon were hiking in southern Utah when they came across these young red-tailed hawks in their nest. They were only able to observe the youngsters for a moment before Mom and Dad started circling overhead, warning them that it was time to go. Before they did, however, they snapped this cool picture of the triplets and lay claim now to our big prize for having just won, the Snapshot of the Week. Remember, submit your pictures or video plus an explanation of your latest outdoor adventures online at ksltv.com. The winner each week wins a commemorative 100th anniversary National Parks cast iron Dutch oven and skillet. And the winner is also entered into our Ford Trucks quarterly Facebook giveaway for a Camp Chef pellet grill.
Camp Chef has improved your campsite cooking for 25 years. Let's improve your patio cooking with the Camp Chef pellet grill. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
You know, guys, we caught some great fish, but people might be a little upset for the fact that we're not telling them exactly what lakes we went to, and why is that?
Well, you know, there's a lot of folks who really cherish this mountain and all these lakes. You know, everybody has their favorite lake. And some guys get really upset if you really, talk about them a lot and say names where you're at.
So get out here and find your favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Just get out here, start exploring, find where you can catch some good fish, and then you'll have your own little honey hole.
Hey, I'm Adam Eakle, KSL Outdoors, reminding you to get out with your family, your friends, come down and make some memories like a Boulder trip outdoors. We'll see you next weekend. Good night.